Super chat. That's what it's called.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to MixLife episode 11. Me and Adam are going to get Stixxed. Stixxed is working out a small technical difficulty, but he'll be joining us in just a few minutes. So today we're mostly going to be talking about some naturally extracted tobaccos with Ty Edwards and just talking about tobaccos in general because we haven't talked about them very much lately. Ty, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Great. Perfect.
All right.
Much better.
All right, cool. All right.
Awesome. Everybody welcome Ty and Adam to the show.
What's up, ladies?
Hello.
Awesome. Welcome. Actually, I was just cracking open that package you sent me.
Yeah, I sent all that stuff to Jen, and she was supposed to do something with it, but it sat around for a while. And I said she was going to send it back to me. I said just send it up to you. So
awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. It'll definitely go to some further development projects I got going on right now.
It's all good. It's all good.
For sure. Not much, man. Just chilling. We're gonna talk about tobaccos a little bit today. We wanted to give you a chance to get in here and talk about your naturally extracted tobaccos and why we think they're pretty superior. So I have my little blurb first. For those of you that aren't familiar with naturally extracted tobaccos, like these are the closest that you can find to like super authentic tobacco experiences. Now I don't mean like smoking a cigarette authentic, because that's not really what like tobacco tastes like as a flavor.
Right.
So these are more like the sweet aromas you get when you walk into a smoke shop, or when you sniff a cigar and you roll it under your nose and you crinkle it up a little bit. Like that's more the effect of authenticity that I get from a naturally extracted tobacco than like smoking a cigar, because you miss out on the ashy, burning carbon bits. But
yeah, there's a definite misconception when it comes to tobaccos. You know what I mean? Like tobacco has their own flavor, and a little research, a little background on me. I was an avid cigar smoker for a number of years, so I always loved to find cigar, and then when I started vaping, then I started, I still love the taste of tobacco, but I didn't want to smoke anymore. So I got involved in this and I started doing it. And as far as you guys know, you've had my stuff and everything that comes back are just great reviews. And I said, well, fuck it, I'm going to keep doing it. And I'm looking into getting some Habano tobacco pretty soon. Adam, you hooked me up with your buddy, and I gave him a call, and we're just waiting for this whole embargo thing to smooth out. You know what I mean? But I'll be looking forward to doing that pretty soon.
Yeah, that's a cool story. I ran across a guy when I used to smoke cigars here in Naples, and Naples is kind of like a wannabe Beverly Hills, sort of. Right. So you get a lot of good money through the town. There's a lot of nice restaurants and stuff. And this guy owned his own tobacco shop. And I would smoke like a cigar a week back around like 2009. And I just he had this little like photo of a guy in Cuba. And I asked him about it. And it turns out the guy was Fidel's tobacco roller. So he would make all Fidel's personal stock.
Right.
And his relationship with that guy became like a real close friendship. And he helped, I guess, when the guy passed away, his son and his family and the whole, group really respect him, and the relationship's really strong. And I think Ty and I were just shooting the shit one day about Havana cigar, thing like that. And I reached out to him, and it was funny because I called him and I hadn't talked to him a couple of years, and I was like, hey, are you the guy I think that, knows the tobacco roller for Fidel? And he was like, maybe. So it was one of those weird kind of calls. And I was like, all right, well, let me tell you what I'm thinking. And I'm like, we're looking at doing the e-juice. A friend of mine does extractions. And the idea would be to get a Havana Presidente stock of tobacco to then make an extraction.
Right.
And that's the idea. And then, they connected, and, one day you might hear about Stixxed Mix, El Comandante
I'm looking
blend.
I'm looking into doing other stuff too. I mean, I started out and then with a couple, and then just went crazy with it. You know what I mean? Like now I've got like 19 or 20 different tobaccos that I'm playing around with, as well as a special blend, the Supreme, which I was trying to duplicate the the X cigar, the Opus X.
Yeah,
And that's kind of where I got it. It was a blend of certain tobaccos. Now, what makes a great cigar, if you guys don't know, and you know this, but there's the filler, which is the tobacco in the middle of the cigar, the binder that binds the tobacco, and then the wrapper. The wrapper is the last final one that holds everything together. And the combination of all those three tobaccos makes a really fine cigar. And so then I started experimenting with using blends of tobaccos at certain percentages together to make that blend. What I've come to find out, though, is that I can also get a better blend from already extracted tobaccos and then throw them together. You know what I mean? As they're already in liquid form. Instead of trying to do a blend of all three tobaccos in that one, I'm now just incorporating other ones together. It's a testing process involved, but it seems to be working out pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited to see the new stuff you're working on. Do you have like a timeline, kind of like borderline estimate?
Give it about another month, maybe.
Another month or so. That's awesome, man. That's pretty close. Like when you think about like the time that goes into like the like flavoring development, some companies take the better part of a year or two to develop 5 or 10 new flavors. So that's pretty fast.
It's one thing that I found with this whole thing is, I mean, I just got involved in vaping for about 2 years ago. You guys have been doing it for a long time, and I look at all of your recipes and the flavor pairing and everything that goes into that. You guys are geniuses. You know what I mean, compared to where I came from. But I don't know where I was going with this. Oh yeah, I know that a lot of things that I found in this industry take time. It takes a lot of time to develop something. You can't just jump in and get it, you know what I mean? Like do it right away. It takes a lot of time to work things out to where you want to perfect something without getting too involved, I guess. But that's kind of what I found.
Now, how did you get started in the extractions? Like what's sort of your story where you ended up?
I was looking into, I found some stuff on Reddit. And I was looking at some other people and their methods and what they were doing, and I just kind of went with my own, you know what I mean? And that's how I got started. Reading up, I mean, I did a lot of reading and research on what other people were doing before I decided to give it a shot. And I had a lot of doubt before I started, but I said, fuck, if I'm going to do this, fuck it, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? In the end, it's not all rocket science, you know what I mean? But it's
And were you in cigars before? Are you a big cigar guy over the years?
Yeah. I was, me and a buddy would go on boxes of cigars. We'd buy boxes of Habanos, you know what I mean?
Right.
Partagas, Romeo and Juliet's, a lot of other ones.
Fuentes.
The Partagas Series D number 4s are my favorite. So like, if I could reproduce that taste in a cigar in an e-liquid, it's golden to me. You know what I mean? Like I was spending $25 a stick on cigars, and it just got too expensive. Now I stopped. I still have a buddy that has a shop close to me who I can get Habanos from, but the price is outrageous. I mean, like $20 a stick. That's where we just went in halves on boxes. $450 a box for cigars is not a. It's not. I mean. It's a drop in the bucket to some people, but other people don't have that kind of money. It's not all that feasible.
Right.
Yeah, I can afford to do that like once a year, maybe.
Right.
Like,
Right.
That's crazy. $450, that's like my whole flavoring budget for half a year.
What's up with your cat, bro? He wants out.
Fuck him. He's an asshole. He'll get out on his own, man. Like, watch him for a minute.
All right.
He'll pace around the door for a little bit. He'll get pissed off, and then he'll just open it. It's all right. He weighs as much as the door does.
The animal version of Silence of the Lambs going on here, and the cat's locked in for Chris's pleasure.
Like the cat's well taken care of, bro. Damn, look at that.
Dude, he is a fat motherfucker. See, look at him here.
There
There he goes. There he goes. There he goes.
Escaped.
Yeah. All
I'll
right.
get you later.
He's gone.
He's outside sharpening his claws with the file right now.
I'm gonna come back get that fucker.
Awesome. I'm stoked, man. I'm super stoked. Now that we've covered your tobaccos, I'm super stoked about these right here.
The coffees?
The Kona blend, son. Kona blend. It smells so good. I just want to drink it.
You like it, huh? It's good.
Yeah. I didn't get any the last time I ordered from you. You sent me the other ones, but I didn't get Kona.
Right.
And I love the Italian roast a lot. And I really like the chock full of nuts. These caps, by the way, are like super childproof.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, the coffees. There's a lot of like, there's that Philip Rock coffee where he extracts, and when you vape that juice, it's just so much different than the flavor art, coffee or tiramisu, where they seem to only be able to extract like the darkest note of the coffee without all like the light notes. And I like the chock full of nuts one you sent. It was like a nice cup of coffee, and that's kind of where where the nets come in too. Is if you guys aren't familiar with how these things work, when you open, my favorite's the Honduran Lingo, and when you open that is the exact scent of a light wrap cigar.
Right.
And as I love tobaccos. I mix them. That's why I'm here on the tobacco episode. But if you're making a Hangson based type of like tobacco, it's very hard to get a real cigar note without it being peppery and spicy. Like the spice is usually too high in what they call cigars to really add that to your mix. But like the Honduran Lingo, like 1 or 2% to a tobacco mix gives you that fresh smell of the part of the cigar that hasn't burned yet, or what you're, like most cigar, if you guys smoke cigars, you're like chewing on it, you're getting the flavors out of that cigar. Probably half the flavors you're getting are from your experience with chewing on the cigar or holding it in your mouth. And then the other half would be the smoking part, and if you're looking for a note and you love cigars and you're a tobacco fan and you just haven't been able to get a real cigar, you're missing this flavor, which is the Honduran Lingo. I never smoked the dark wrappers because they were kind of a little too strong for my palate. But because I'd smoke a big cigar and I'd smoke a light wrapper, and then it's like a nice half-hour smoke, So the dark ones, I just, you can smoke a punch, but I just prefer the longer experience. This flavor is right on. So if you guys are looking to make a cigar note and you can't find it, that's what you're missing right here, is a good naturally extracted. And Stixxed is the nicest one I've come across. So
I actually have a lot of them that are cigar tobaccos only used in cigars. You have cigar tobacco, you have cigarette tobacco, and you have hookah tobacco, and you also have chewing tobacco. They're all pretty much the same in themselves, but the flavor that you get out of them is totally indistinguishable from the other one. I mean, like for cigarette tobacco, you want to use American Virgin, or American Virginian. The Canadian Virginian is a tobacco. Also, a lot of the Orientals are cigarette.
The Oriental 456 is solid, man. It's good.
Yeah, the Oriental 456 is amazing. Even these tobaccos by themselves as standalones, I'm sure you've tried that. If you just vaped them as standalone, like 8% in your favorite PG, VG, I mean, the flavor, there's so much flavor that comes out of each one of these tobaccos that on alone by themselves, they're awesome. I found that, so.
Yeah, I think most, if not all, because when I first got your line, I did single flavor tests of all of them. And I don't think there was a single one that wasn't as strong as a standalone, with maybe the exception of Dark Fire.
Oh, Dark Fire is crazy. It's
pretty rough on its own. It's good. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's just better as an additive.
it is. It's basically Copenhagen. You know what I mean?
Right.
The taste is just strong Copenhagen, but with
It's
one
like,
or two drops to a mix, it just adds that ashy effect in the background.
yeah, no, it's good. I like it. But it's definitely better as an additive. And I think notably for me, my favorite standalones are probably the Sweet Bright Leaf,
Yeah.
or just like a really rich, dark tobacco. It's
Yeah.
super smooth. And your aged burley is just like perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, those are some of my favorites. See, the Bright Leaf is one of my all-time favorite. Yeah, all-time. Like I'll make that just as a standalone, but it has so much flavor in itself. It's, you know what I mean? It's hard to describe. You can describe that better than me. I found that with a lot of, you know what I mean? With a lot of guys that I have a hard time relating of how something actually tastes. You know, and like a couple of the guys like Chef, you know, there's a guy like Chef John. He's a chef. He could bring out the notes and stuff. A lot of people can do that, and I can't. And I find that, you know, people ask me questions about it. Well, I'm looking for this, and I'm like, fuck, it's great. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? Like I don't. It's hard for me to distinguish within each one those notes that come out in it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, and like you said, you know, you've only been doing this for 2 years, and the tobacco's a big kind of your focal point. You know, so for us, I've only been mixing for like 3.5 years, but with like a really like heavy attention on like single flavor testing and like meticulous note taking. So there's just I think a difference in our approach. Like you kind of chase those tobaccos like it sounds like straight out of the gate, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, like, I don't think I could ever like. I don't think I could ever do what you do either. So I think it's, you know, it's fair that it takes kind of both kinds to really push the envelope, right?
Right. I get it out there. You guys tell me what it tastes like.
What do you find or maybe you can walk us through the process of how one naturally extracts a tobacco for people that don't know? Like, how's it go?
Well, from what I've read, and I kind of followed the steps that I saw on Reddit. You basically crunch the tobacco up, make sure it's dry, and I skipped the step of the alcohol extraction. There's a part in there where you use alcohol in it, and it's just another step that I didn't want to go through. You basically put tobacco in a container and fill it with PG, and what I do is I don't want to give too many secrets away, but I do a hot and cold extraction. I let it cook for about 8 hours, and then I freezer it for about 8 hours, and I do that process back and forth for a while, and then everything extracted. I extract everything through filters and micron filters at the end to get all the particles out. And it's just a multi-filtering process. There's a lot of time involved in it. That I've been trying to I was trying to cut down the time involved in it, because if I'm doing big stuff, then, you know, a lot of these guys are saying let it sit for 6 months. Well, I don't have that kind of time. You know what I mean? And I found that I can get the same result in about 2 or 3 weeks as others are getting in about 6 months. You know,
nice.
So that's kind of where I went with it. Like I said, you know, my prices may be a little bit high. I understand that, but there's a lot of time involved in what I'm doing, and in order to make sure I like perfection when it comes to something. You know what I mean? Like, we're all kind of perfectionists, but I want to make sure that it's the finest and cleanest when it comes out. I've recently had it tested. I have 3 of my tobaccos tested, and they came back totally clean. I don't have paperwork on it yet, but I had a local friend who, I won't say any names, but did the filtering process. She did the testing process for me, and she came back and said if there's anything there, it's undetectable at all. And
cool.
You know, they do their own stuff. So yeah, it was cool. But that's basically it. And like I said, it's not a lot of rocket science involved, but there's a lot of time involved, and knowing how long to cook the tobacco in order to get the full flavor out of it. You don't have to go all that time. I mean, once the flavoring has extracted from the leaf, you're not going to get any more out of it. So that's it. Does that help at all?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it does. So I only have one question about your filtration process. Are you still using the gravity-fed filter, or have you moved on to like a vacuum filter?
No, it's gravity fed. So
Oof.
that's kind that's kind of where the time gets involved in it. You know what I mean? I've seen people using an AeroPress, but for the quantity that I'm working with, it's impossible. That's just a total bottleneck to my time and trying to process it. You know what I mean? Like AeroPress, you can only put so much in it, and then you're out. So I'm using big funnels and big filters.
How much tobacco goes into like a bottle? So when we end up with a bottle, what is the original amount?
I'm using about a quarter pound of tobacco per quart.
Okay.
So, like tobacco I'm getting, I buy pounds of it, and then that's pretty much how it works. But when it breaks down, I'm getting about 3/4 of a quart out of a quarter pound of tobacco. And you got to remember the tobacco is shipped wet, so it's heavy. So it's got to be fully dried before you go back through the process. And I lose a lot of weight with that also. So that eats up money also. But who cares? It's all good. I mean, I like it. I mean, I haven't found anything out there, and not that I've done a lot of research on other people's flavors. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of people that I've heard that are doing this or doing that. I'm just doing what I do. I'm not concerned with what everybody else is doing. And but I do take the time to make sure the product is quality. That's what's one of my pet peeves. My customer service is there also. I will, if somebody makes an order or so forth, and I'm right there on it. You know what I mean? And I get their order out that day if I can do it. If not, it's the next day. But I'm always sending them. I'm always staying in contact with. I always communicate with people, and that's what lacks in a lot of this is that when people buy something and they don't have any communication with the company, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I mean, my favorite's Hangson, but that's China. So like, if I ever had a question about those tobaccos that are not naturally extracted, but just those like, good luck getting an answer from China.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's something to be said for being involved, and you're one of the most active like owner operators in the community. You're always out there and talking and sharing recipes, even if it's not just your stuff, but just stuff in general, like just mixing stuff in general. You're always engaged. I always see you out and talking.
I try to be. I don't. A lot of people, maybe for everybody out there that don't kind of understand, like I come in and say stuff, but I'm not like you guys. I'm not a master mixer. But I'll come in and help where I can. But I try to stay plugged into everybody. I mean, I got a funny sense of humor on the Stixxed side. So a lot of times I'll post memes and stuff behind people's stuff, and they don't. You know what I mean? I'd like to make people laugh because this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be so serious that you can't have a good time doing it. And that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, like if I want to get really fucking serious, I'll put these fucking glasses on and say, hey. Like I'm a clown, bro. You know what I mean? I have a good time having a good time, and I like to laugh. But I don't like to get so serious that I'm hurting people's feelings or people's feelings get hurt. You know what I mean? It's like, we got to have fun doing this, and I appreciate that though, you guys. You guys accept my humor, and you come in, you're like, well, fuck, here he goes again.
I just like that you pronounced memes. That made me happy. That made my day for the whole day. That's good stuff, dude. No, but no, like still though, there's a lot to be said for you being involved in the company or in the community so much. Even and recognizing where other strengths might lie. Like you're honest about it. You don't try to like put on this like show of being more informed than you really are. A lot of company owners kind of do that,
Yeah,
they bullshit their way out of a customer,
right? Because that could be really.
I learn new stuff every day. You know what I mean? Like this is a total learning process with everybody, and I try to help out where I can, and I learn every day just by reading. I mean, everybody jumps right in and says, "And go." I mean, I'll do some research on stuff and read everybody else what they're doing, and then compare stuff with other people, and I pick up a lot of notes from Jen. You know what I mean? Jarvis and the other Jennifer and everybody else in the group. You know, I mean, everybody. You guys are all awesome.
I'm gonna tell her you called her the other Jennifer.
Which one? There's like 3 of them. There's Jennifer Harmon, Jarvis, and what's her last name? Hold on a second.
Shit.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you, bud. You're good. That's funny. I won't say it though, because then it'll be like obvious you forgot her name, and I don't want to.
She's gonna see this and go, "What the fuck?"
Damn it, Ty. No,
Yeah.
she wouldn't. I'm sure it's fun. It's all good fun.
Yeah. It's
Well, what about our British friends? Do you ship to the UK if people want to try?
I got my stuff over in the e-cig shop. They're all called the e-cig shop over there, but I got my stuff over there, the e-cig shop. Dimitri helped me make some contacts over there. I got some people that are looking at my stuff. I had a guy today hit me up from Turkey wanting to carry my stuff. I had a guy last week. I mean, I've shipped to Australia. I ship overseas. It's just costly, you know what I mean? And it's anywhere from $13.50 to $22.50 depending on weight. And if people want quantity, then I'm gonna have to price that out. You know what I mean? Like I don't have exact pricing on what it costs to ship weight. You know, somebody was telling me like $45 from there to here for up to 10 kilograms. You know, they deal in kilograms, we deal in pounds. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to learn the difference between the two.
Right.
But yeah, I do ship overseas. I'm trying to get my stuff out there as far as it'll go.
Homeboy over in South Africa today he just posted in chat here a little while ago that he placed an order with you.
Yeah.
The gentleman from Mr. Hardwick's is really interested. Yeah, and then thank you, Darren, for that link for the e-cig shop. And do you still have that lady in Canada carrying your stuff too?
Kim Cochran, yeah, I think she still has some of my stuff, but we haven't been in contact for a while. And I reached out to her a couple of weeks ago, see how things were going, but never really heard much back. So she said, yeah, I still have it. And I'm like, well, okay. I mean, if these people don't push the product, how's it going to sell? You know, but you know, that's their business. I don't get involved in that. You know, I mean, it's once they have my product, and that's up to them to do what they were going to do with it.
No, that's fair. Like I was just curious because I know that I've had people ask me recently, I believe in Canada, but I couldn't remember the name of the vendor that you had selling it.
No, it's Infinite Vapor.
The link was buried under like a year's worth of chat in our Facebook chat, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't know."
Infinite Vapor.
Intimate Vapor.
Infinite.
Infinite Vapor. All right.
Yeah. Intimate Vapor is a different story.
Very intimate.
I like where this is going. Let's continue this. No, that's cool, man. I'm super stoked to see you going international, getting some more attention around, you know, all over the place, and even just here in the States, you know.
Yeah, and, I'm trying. You know, it's slow, like I said. You know what I mean? And
so, do you feel like if there's enough interest, that you might be able to find a way to like increase your production scale? Maybe not the amount of time.
I'm looking at that right now. You know what I mean? Like that right now, actually, as you say that, I'm looking into doing a lot bigger stuff. So,
because I mean that would also help you manage your costs as well. You know, by being able to work in bulk, you can drive down prices if you're buying in bulk.
And that's kind of how it's working right now. I mean, you know, the time it takes to do it. I mean, I'd rather. My wholesale pricing for companies overseas or things like that they're reasonable. I'll just say that, you know. I'm going to be. I dropped my prices 15 to 20% last month, but I'm going to probably be bringing them down a little bit lower too. I mean, I want to be able. I want people to be able to have my product and not go, God, it's so crazy price wise that I just can't afford it. You know what I mean? A lot of vapors don't have money, and I get that. You know what I mean? It's not. Not to say that we're all broke asses, but we are. No.
Hey, no, you know, we're definitely not making the millions here.
Right, right.
You know, but I'd make the argument that like this is a luxury flavoring.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to get a $2 flavoring, but that's going to be chemically based,
right,
and lab made. This is a boutique item that's actually handmade by you. You're buying, you know, pounds of tobacco. You're taking the time. I bet you're apartment smells like a cigar shop.
Yeah, well.
So, you know, you're putting in the effort, and I think that anyone that might be like, why would I pay 13, 14, 15 bucks for this, is because you're not going to get that note anywhere else. You're just not. I mean, you can kind of copy it, but you're not going to get that exact note. And when you taste it, you're like, oh, cigar. Yeah. So, you know, depending on how much of a tobacco mixer fan you are, I think your product becomes more and more applicable. You know, for me, it's definitely a great product. I think people should check out, especially when you mix with tobaccos. You know, you get what they call a tobacco isn't necessarily like our reality of a tobacco. I mean, a lot of these flavors have like anise notes, or it tastes like licorice. A lot of them taste like somebody like cracked a spice wheel into them, or then just you know, not what we would remember as tobacco. But I mean, when I tasted that Honduran Lingo, it was like, that's the old cigars I used to smoke. Yeah. So I'd say if you're a cigar fan, it's, you know, how much did you used to spend on a cigar, you know, to be able to, so that's, from my thinking, it's a boutique luxury item that is for people that love tobacco and want to mix the most authentic tobacco mixes.
And that's where I come from too. The same mindset. It's like, you know, if I'm going to go in, am I going to spend $5 on a generic cigar, or am I going to treat myself and buy a $20 stick and really enjoy it? You know, and that's the difference. You know, a lot of guys say this stuff is top shelf, and I agree. It is the quality top shelf of tobaccos.
Now, I would be interested, maybe even in like a Lucky Strike flavor. I mean, you probably couldn't call it that, but where you're actually like extracting a certain brand of, like, you know, like a Marlboro or Camel or whatever, hypothetically.
I thought about that, but I mean, in order to get that exact flavor, you're gonna have to extract a cigarette. Cigarettes have all the chemicals and all that other bullshit in it that I don't want any part of. You know what I mean? And like we know who you see all the list of everything that's put into a cigarette. You're like, fuck. There's no way I want to be fucking vaping that shit.
You know, and then that's another piece of it. You're getting, you know, more of a natural organic version than the 1,000 chemical cigarette. So that's another benefit to these, I think. What are you vaping on?
I'm vaping. Oh fuck, what is it? It's one of Jennifer's recipes. I think it's the well, I got bottles everywhere, and I label them, but I don't even remember what's in it. It's
yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I just guess.
It's like, I don't remember anymore. It's just whatever it is, it's good. Yeah. I was vaping a blueberry donut last week, and then I think this is her. I'd have to look it up. Pistachio cream pie. That's what I'm vaping.
So you're a mixer too. You're not just doing the nets. You're making a recipe to vape on here and there.
I got thousands of dollars in flavors. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But when I started getting involved, I looked at all these recipes, and like everybody's like, well, I don't have that. I don't have that. I don't have this. And I said, well, fuck it. Then I just started putting money into flavoring. So if I see anything out there that I like, I'm like, yeah, I can do that.
Nice.
I make a lot of stuff for my girlfriend, Kat. Hey, Kat, I know you're out there. You'll probably see this later. But yeah, I do a lot of stuff for a lot of my friends and their friends. You know what I mean? You know, people that want juice at a cheaper price than going to a vape shop and walking in with a bottle of Vaseline and going, here, I want that flavor. You know what I mean? Right. But yeah.
Hey, just real quick. Concrete River, or Rick, just made a really great point in the chat. I just wanted to point it out on the video. You know, we talk about the high price of your NETs, right? Or people talk about the high prices of the naturally extracted tobaccos. But, you know, Hangson and Inawera and Flavora tobaccos are all also not cheap. In fact, some of them are more expensive than yours, especially Flavoras. You know, some of them run upwards of, you know, $10, $11 for a 15 ml bottle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's something to be said that virtually all of the high-end tobaccos are really kind of coming at a higher price anyways. Yeah. And to be blunt, yours hold up as well as, if not beat out, just about every other tobacco on the market.
Right on. Right
There's
on.
there's a few. Flavora has a few that they do really right that are close. And a few flavor art tobaccos that are close. You guys are kind of running neck and neck, but otherwise, I mean, you're up there with all the big dogs,
Right on.
and doing great things. But you don't have the advantages that those large companies have,
Right.
in large scale production.
Right. And that's the only thing I'm missing out on. But I don't have a lot of that overhead either. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. You don't have the overhead sales yet, to push production into that stratosphere. And I think that once you do, it's going to be a big deal, and you're going to dominate the tobacco market.
That's kind of where it's going. You know what I mean? But I'm a one-man operation. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing this with any help. So everything is just all by myself. But whatever. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy people and what they say about it. You know what I mean? That right there is that's the payback. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not looking to get rich. You know what I mean? I just want to put a good product out there and let people enjoy it. And like I said, their feedback that comes back is 1,000 times. It's worth a lot more to me. You know what I mean?
You're a drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe talk about that a little bit. Tell us about your history, because not everybody knows. Well,
that's where my name comes from. Stixxed mix. Yeah, I'm a drummer. I've been playing all my life. I'm not working with anybody right now, but I've done a lot of work. A lot of guys around here. I don't want to throw names around, but I live in a kind of pretty affluent area. I live in LA. I'm around all the people that are pretty much in the industry. What
was your favorite? What was your best drum gig? Like
I'd
most.
have to say it was like 20 years ago, bro, when I lived up north. I used to live in Modesto for about 11 years, and I formed a band up there, and we did a small tour in the Bay Area. We played a lot of places in the Bay Area, Sacramento. But the guys that life hit the guys. They got married, they moved on. You know what I mean? And the band kind of went out. We were right at the edge of getting signed with a record label, but the music industry is not what everybody thinks it is. They think everybody's going to be a rock star and everything. You basically starve.
If you make music, you're the food.
Yeah. I played in front of crowds of 2,500 people. You know what I mean? Like, it's all good. I mean, I love performing on stage and playing. It's always been a passion of mine. I got 3 drum kits and no place to fucking play. Do you
do studio? You still do like studio work for people?
Yeah, I do studio work. But like I said, it's LA, man. Musicians are a dime a dozen out here,
right?
And it's not who you are, it's who you know. And there's a lot of big names in the back of music that you never even hear of that cut tracks for people. But touring live, they ended up using somebody else. But yeah, I've been a lot of my influences are Neil Peart from Rush, Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, who's now done a lot of other stuff. You name it. I don't have a favorite drummer because I'm influenced by so many different music, so much music. A lot of Steely Dan, UFO, Black Sabbath, Ronnie James Dio, Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, I'm pretty much stuck in the 80s. But a lot.
That's not a bad place to be stuck, brother.
Right. When music started to change as soon as rap took over and everything else, and I just lost a lot of the melody and a lot of the writing and stuff, and I started talking about a lot of crap that I just wasn't into, and so I kind of lost my interest. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep. Titties sell records. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went out to LA to do film, and I went to USC for a little bit, and the same thing. Like, it's just you're the food, you're the product. You're not. They're gonna eat you up and spit you out and take the money. Yeah. And when I was a young dumb kid thinking, I'm gonna make creative things, and you have like a producer for Titanic be like, no, we don't make creative things.
Right.
It's like, well, fuck. So that burned me out there, but I did
Cameron,
I like that, man.
James Cameron was one of my clients. I'm a computer technician by trade also. So I do a lot of troubleshooting, networking, and computer repair, and just basically small stuff. But I had a mobile business for about 6 years, and I handled a lot of high-end clients in Malibu. And James Cameron was one of them, and I worked on his wife's computer and stuff, just doing small things. But yeah, I met him briefly. He was very standoffish, but I understand that, though. I mean, when you're in that kind of industry and you are the shit, you're the shit, and but I don't look at people that way. But
right.
It doesn't matter how much money you have or how much fame. If you're closed off, you're nobody but just a person. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, and I followed that. I'm also in recovery, if you guys don't know, and I'm sure you see some posts here and there. But I was an addict for a long time. I've been to jail. I've been to prisons. I've been out of death twice. Out of body twice because of accidents. I've been through a lot of crap. And I decided to get sober. You know what I mean? I just couldn't do it anymore. And I kept breaking out in handcuffs, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in recovery. And I know a lot of people in vaping are in recovery too. So it's good to see people out there doing the deal and still staying plugged into something. It's the last and only vice, I think, that doesn't make your life unmanageable.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It has enough little things to play with where if you have that addictive personality, or you come from, smoking pot or drinking with a full bar in your house, or whatever drugs you like, it has enough little things to play with to keep your mind busy. So it's really, I think it's a great avenue for people, not just wanting to quit cigarettes, but also people that need to fill that free time. That, when you're not doing the drugs or whatever you're doing, it's boredom. And what a great hobby to fill your time, where, just saving the money. I mean, if you look at, like, I was a vape shop purchaser customer.
Right.
And for the first 2 years of me vaping on and off, I'd still smoke cigarettes. I just vaped for the experience. And, it's just totally different to be in the kind of field where you're saving money. Like you can't make your own pack of cigarettes unless you're or you got a quarter pound of tobacco on you. But most people just can't get to that. But for us to be able to make something that isn't set at like a $9 bar from the store, and you're able to make it for a couple bucks, it's so freeing once you start mixing and you're able to like ruin a 60 milliliter bottle of something rather than spend $30 at a vape shop and hate that bottle you bought.
Right. Yeah. I see people spending $27.99 or whatever on a 30 ml bottle of fucking sweetener. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing that for a while. I mean, I started vaping on Vapor. I started with the Vape Bartender, and they're here in LA somewhere. But I was spending $30 for a 30 ml bottle of top shelf e-liquid, only because it was packaged nice. I mean, I had a nice container. I mean, but that's all you're paying for. And then just like everybody else, I was like, fuck, what is this stuff made of? You know what I mean? And then we figured it out. I'm like, really? Fuck that. I'll put my money into stuff that I can do something with.
Right.
And so the journey began.
Okay, so if you run into Leo DiCaprio and tell him we'll do some custom mixes for him. If you run into Drake as well.
Yeah, buddy. Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, Samuel L. Jackson.
You say, I got a guy that'll do custom recipes for you whenever you want.
Yeah, buddy. We'll do custom flavors just for the famous people.
I ran into Dave Grohl. He goes to a place out here called Palladino's. I ran into a couple years ago. Great guy, man. There's a girl band, all girl band called the Iron Maidens, and they're from here. They're from the valley where I live. You know what I mean? And I went to go see them, and Dave Grohl was there to check them out. All these musicians all go to the same clubs. You never know who you're going to run into. But he was a really great guy. We sat and fucking chatted it up for a good 40 minutes. You know what I mean? And he's just down to earth dude. I love it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because you're both drummers too, though. So you guys had all kinds. Yeah, that's cool.
No, it was cool. We're I don't know where to go with it, but it's not, like I said, it's not who you are, who you know. And a lot of people, I gravitate to people who are real. You know what I mean? I'm not about the big hype. and everything else that surrounds a lot of this. I've never bought into that. Never.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, it's just bullshit.
I'm not starstruck. People are people, no matter who you are, where you're at in life. That's where you're, you know what I mean? And,
right.
As you get older, you kind of realize that too. And it comes back. You know what I mean? I'm a big, firm believer in karma. And because I've had a lot of bad stuff happen to me, instant karma.
Right.
I don't want to put this on the negative, but anyway, you know.
No, you're right. Karma's, you know, you want to do good for people, or else it's going to burn you later, you know.
Yeah. There's a band down from your area called MixLife. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think I've heard of them, yeah.
They're the most hilarious cover band I've ever seen. They're a mariachi metal cover band.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Oh my god! So they just played up here.
Right
It was
on.
probably the greatest experience. Like they're just incredible.
Right.
If you haven't checked them out, guys, check out MixLife. They do amazing mariachi metal covers. You need to watch. It's good.
That's cool.
I've seen the Iron Maidens. They used to come up here to Portland pretty often.
Who?
The Iron Maidens.
Oh,
Those
the
ladies.
Iron Maidens?
Yeah, they used to come up north. Quite a bit.
Yeah, they do a lot of northern touring stuff. They're all over the place now. I mean, they've been everywhere, which is really cool. But I mean, for a cover band, but all chicks. I mean, the drummer's a good friend of mine too. You know, I mean, I've known her for a while, but yeah, they've gone all over the place. I'm also working with some the Dio disciples. The Dio disciples are some good friends of mine. They're originally played with Dio before he passed away. Dio passed away in 2010, and he's buried out here in Forest Lawn. People have probably seen some posts that I did. I went out there. I go out there every year. They do a memorial show. It's to benefit cancer research. Simon Wright, the drummer of the band, he's kind of close to me. We hang out once in a while, but anyway, you know, it's cool. I like to be able to see bands doing other things besides just playing. You know what I mean? I like to see them doing benefits for other things, and I like that. I get involved in that once in a while.
Well, it's cool stuff, man. It's good.
Don't you have you got vape friends, different buddies in the market, right? Like,
yeah.
Are you seeing? Are they speeding up at all? Are they planning on this FDA thing breaking possibly? Like, have you heard anything through your buddies, maybe like any kind of?
I'm not really, you know, I mean, I'm not really sure with that. I mean, like they, you know, I'm in contact with one of my friends. I mean, I know Lisa at Liquid Barn. You know, I'm in contact with Grant. You know, I mean, but we never really sit down much. You know, Grant from Nick River. We never sit down much, and Lisa and I will sit down and talk about it. But there's a lot of stuff that even they don't know about that's up in the air. You know, we're hoping that when, you know, Trump came in, that things would change, and things have been put on hold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess they've been put on hold for another 3 months, but other than that, nobody really knows what's going on yet.
Right. Are you in Wizard Labs? Can people get stuff from Wizard Labs, or did they have? I think they had you there a little bit, right?
No. My stuff's in Wizard Lab. I think Joe Melvin's handling a lot of that out there now with Krista.
Yeah. I just didn't know if they had Stixxed mix there.
No.
Are they carrying it now? Okay.
No, nobody's carrying my stuff because it's I don't know, man. I've talked to Grant Nick River about carrying my stuff, and he'd kind of get back to me, but he's busy over there. He just opened up a new shop, you know what I mean? And things, like I said, things take time to work themselves out. So I'd like for him to carry it. That'd be awesome. But one thing at a time. You know, I mean, it's baby steps, bro. I think it's good. I think it's getting to the point where people are going to want to carry my stuff because so many other people are talking about it, and
right.
that's kind of how it's working. You
know, people watching this hear from us saying it's quality. You know, you're going to get some customers there. So Stixxed Mix, STIXXMIXX.com for anybody on the podcast or listening to the audio version. And you can use, I think we had a coupon code 1515OFF if you want to buy something today. And John asked, have you ever thought of doing like a sampler pack with like little 10 mil?
I do sampler packs. It's 6 15 mil bottles for $50. That includes shipping in the US, free. You know what I mean? So if you want, you can contact me through Facebook or you know what I mean, like through you guys or whatever, or in the chat rooms or whatever. You hit me up, and just let me know and private message me, and I'll do whatever you want, you know, basically. But it's $50 for 6 15 ml bottles with free shipping.
Now, can we, how can they contact you? Okay, yeah. All right, so.
He just said just to shoot him I just linked his Facebook profile in the chat so that people can just shoot him a PM if he wants.
Yeah, for wholesale. Somebody was asking for wholesale, so that might be some.
Yeah, get a hold of me. My email is stixxed@gmail.com.
Okay.
I mean, you can get a hold of me through there, or like through Facebook, whatever. You know, just go that route, and yeah, I'll do what I can to take care of anybody. You know what I mean? But like I said, there's a time process involved in this. Right now, I don't have the quantity to do a lot of wholesale. I'm working that way right now, so like I'm in the baby steps of doing that. I'm doing a lot bigger stuff, so it's just going to take a little time. But be patient, and you'll be happy at the end anyway.
Now, what about, okay, so let's say, for example, like I loved a certain type of cigar or a certain type of thing. Are you open to doing custom batches for people for the right price? Like if someone if they wanted to clone a cigar they love type of thing, or a certain tobacco line, that's something you could help with.
Yeah, I can help with that, but what they're going to need to know, and that's the big secret with a lot of these cigar companies, is the blends of tobacco. That's their secret. They don't let that secret out. You know what I mean? Like, so what I was trying to do is as much research as I could find on the internet is to find out what blends of tobacco were being used in the Opus X or an Apartagus or Fuentes or anything like that. And that's their trade secret. They won't let that out. So, but like I said, you get a different taste when you burn a tobacco than trying to establish that same taste in an e-liquid. It doesn't transfer over kind of the same way. You're getting the taste of the tobacco in an e-liquid, where you're getting a different taste when you burn the tobacco with the 3 wrapper binder filler together. And that's their trade secret. So that's what I was trying to do in the beginning. I'm like, well, I'm going to try and reproduce what they're using in an Opus X. I couldn't, because I couldn't find that information.
Right, and it's almost like I see the similarity between us when we try to like clone a juice on the market, where we have no clue what's in it, but we're like, all right, let me get close. That seems you're doing cigar clone work basically.
Right, and like I said, I can take different liquids and mix them together, but am I going to get that same taste from a cigar? You know what I mean? I don't, and it's hard to say that. But one tobacco will have a cigar taste by itself. Like you said, you have so many different notes that come out of it, the spices, the chocolate in it, you know, chocolate, you name it. I mean, there's all that in there in a one tobacco. And to get that out, like I said, doing a standalone tobaccos are just amazing by themselves, because there's so much different flavoring that comes out of them.
Now, what are your top 3 best sellers? What are the 3 that are the most popular?
The most popular that I get most are the A+ blend, and that's a blend of 3 different tobaccos. The Cavendish, Black Cavendish is one. The Honduran Ligero, and it's produced to Ligero, like the G is silent. Yeah, everybody's like the lingo.
I'm reading your handwriting.
I got fast writing. The Honduran Ligero, the Oriental, and the Turkish Oriental are good ones. The Visos are also good. The Nicaraguan Viso and the Nicaraguan Seco are some great ones by themselves. The American
what's your best work? Like which one of all those impressed you the most from what you were going for and then what you ended up with, where it's like your little secret masterpiece?
I don't have it, man. I can't say it. It's just like asking me what my favorite drummer is. You know what I mean? There's just they're all unique in their own way. You know what I mean? And it's hard to say which one. If I was to pick one out of everything, I couldn't do it. My head would blow up. You know what I mean? Like, poof.
And then when you get done, are you do you single flavor test them? Like once you get your final, are you vaping it by itself to get the notes, or are you just like, all right, smells good?
No, I don't.
Good.
Yeah, I just run with it. And if it's the same tobacco in the same year and so forth, you're going to pretty much get the same taste from that.
And a question was consistency. So you find that you're able to replicate the consistency batch to batch.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've had that down. That is it. You're not going to get from this month to next month a different flavor of that. You know what I mean? But it's also what comes out of the tobacco. It's all consistent.
But you're using the same blends for the new orders, so you're going to get the same flavors. And it might vary a little bit based on the batch, but
you're not going to notice it, even if you were, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm at 3 batches through your Honduran Larguero, and I haven't noticed. I haven't noticed any tangible difference at all.
Right.
So same color, same everything.
Yeah.
So everything's always been pretty consistent. I haven't tested your coffees yet, but I'm sure they're, equally the same. You know.
I sent you some 2 weeks ago, so you've got them all, right?
I just got the coffee. Yeah, I got all the coffees now, and I actually have some extras. So I'll probably be, after I finish developing some recipes, I'll probably do a little giveaway if I have some extras left over.
What are you making with them?
I'm going to do some simple coffee mixes. I just released a quiet ninja recipe last night called the Joe Lateria.
I saw that.
Tobacco coffee. It's on ELR. It's pretty good. I haven't done the development notes on it, but shake and vape, it's nice. And I kind of released it into the wild just for fun because I really enjoyed it. But it was like at 4 a.m. or something retarded, so I just didn't do any notes or anything yet. I'll do like a big post about it maybe a little bit later when I get some more time to vape on it and it's got the chance to steep.
Cool.
So a cool thing that's worth noting about ending teas is that they have an interesting sort of life as they go through the homogenized, as they become homogenized with your juice. They're better fresh than a typical tobacco, so you don't have to wait a month or 2 months for it to steep like you would with like a real heavy TPA flavor art tobacco type mix. They're pretty solid fresh, and they need less steeping time on average, I think, than typical tobaccos. I get about a week or a week and a half. I find I'm kind of hitting the peak. Yeah,
most of my stuff is already pre-steeped. You know what I mean? It's been sitting for at least a month or so. You know what I mean? So I'll do that. I'll just set it aside. Once it's processed and done, I'll let it set, and it almost kind of ferments itself and works itself out. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've also found that too with this.
It's just the last time.
Yeah.
Last time overall, so that you get a quicker turnaround if you're looking to. You can shake and vape a lot of them, and they're good. I find them better at 3 to 5 days to a week, but they're good fresh. So if you're in a pinch and you forgot to mix last week or whatever, you're in a hurry. Yeah. Why Joe Lateria? I don't know. I was really tired, man. It was 4 a.m, and weird shit comes out when I'm sleepy. Like I know a better explanation.
That's Kopel gibberish.
It's what happens at 4 a.m.
Are you seeing the chat? Are you seeing the chat on your end or what?
Yeah, we got it over here. Vaping Dragons, thank you. He watched all 10, now 11 hours of content. So he's seen all the podcasts. So shout out to you, man. We appreciate you checking out our stuff with that amount of commitment. Definitely.
But we're coming up on our hour, guys. Ty, thank you very, very much for coming on and talking about your stuff. It's been a fantastic pleasure. Be sure to check out Adam and Dave's ID10T's new one-shots over at e-cig Express. I'll have 6 strings. Link the code one more time. They got some brand new one-shots out there for sale.
Yeah.
Give us your money because we're hungry. And Adam really needs a cheeseburger, man. He's losing some weight. Look at him.
Yeah, I need to eat more, guys. So, look. Yeah, I know. That's good. But hey, listen, you guys, we're starting to build the American market. And maybe you love Wayne's recipes. Awesome. Now you can get ours. Maybe you hate Wayne's recipes. Awesome. Now you got other options. And you support myself, Zesty, and ID10T's recipes. I will guarantee you that in a couple months, you're going to have more mixers to choose from. If you don't, you won't. So this is not just about us. The money coming from this ain't going to pay any of my bills. This is about building the market in the U.S., getting the flavor companies more comfortable with creating new brands. Now that, the FDA thing's kind of dialed down a bit, they're not coming after flavoring as much. So to be able to open new brands to the market, big deal. E-cig Express, I made the best sugar cookie vape I think you'll ever have. Let me know what you think if you get it, and then pick up the other two. MixLife app, if you don't have the app, go to the Android store, iOS, get that. Thanks to Wayne, DIY or Die, for supporting us in all our endeavors. And back to Kopel. Thanks, Stixxed. It was good talking with you today.
Welcome, guys. Nice to be here, bro. Thank you for the time here, and I'll come back on too in the future when you guys want to do something. And for anybody who wants to know, I'm doing the Memorial Day sale. It's 15 off. That's the code. If you want a sample pack, hit me up. In the U.S., like I said, it's 6 15-ml bottles for $50 with free shipping. That's involved. But anything else, just let me know. You can contact me through stixxedmix@gmail.com. And I look forward to meeting new friends.
Well, thanks again, guys. That's time. It's been a pleasure. That's it. I got nothing. You guys said it all. Fucking badass. Kick ass.
MixLife 11.